I didn't change how I talk. I changed one tiny social habit, and people treated me completely differently. I used to think I was a good listener. I'd nod. Stay quiet. But inside, I was just waiting for my turn to speak. Then I discovered something called active listening. But it's not what you think. Most people imagine staying quiet while someone talks. That's not it. Real active listening is a set of specific tools that make people feel more understood in 5 minutes than they've felt in years. When I started using this, everything changed. People opened up in ways they never had. They trusted me more. Some said I was the only person who really got them. In this video, I'm showing you exactly what active listening is, why it works, and the 3 specific techniques I use every day. By the end, you'll have a skill most people never learn. Here's why this matters so much. Think about your last real conversation. Did the other person actually listen? Or were they just waiting to talk about themselves? Here's the truth. Most people don't listen. They reload. They hear a few words, then spend the rest of the time thinking about their own story, their own response. This creates a massive problem. Everyone walks around feeling unheard. They talk, but nobody really gets them. Their feelings go into a void. The need to be understood is one of the most basic human needs we have. When that need isn't met, people feel frustrated, lonely, disconnected. But when you actually listen to someone, when you make them feel truly heard, everything changes. Back in the early 1900s, a psychologist named Carl Rogers figured this out. He worked with children, trying to help them with their problems. He noticed something interesting. When he stopped trying to fix everything and just listened in a specific way, the kids improved faster. They came to better conclusions on their own. They felt more confident. Their mental health got better. Rogers discovered that listening itself was therapeutic. Not advice, not solutions, just being heard in the right way. He developed something called person-centered therapy. The core was active listening. Rogers found that when people felt genuinely heard, they could solve their own problems better than any therapist could solve them. This method became revolutionary. Now it's used everywhere: therapy, schools, businesses, relationships. But here's what nobody tells you. Active listening is a skill made up of specific tools. It's not about being naturally empathetic or having some gift. It's about using techniques that anyone can learn. Let me show you the first one. Quick thing, if this is helpful, hit like and subscribe for more psychology content. Appreciate you. Tool number 1. Paraphrase what you hear. This one sounds simple, but it's powerful. After someone talks for a bit, repeat back what you think they said. Use your own words. Keep it short. Make it natural. Here's an example. Your friend says, "I've been working so hard on this project, but my boss doesn't seem to notice anything I do. I feel like I'm invisible." Most people would jump in with advice. "You should talk to your boss about it." Or, "That happened to me once, let me tell you." Instead, you paraphrase, "So you're putting in all this effort, but it feels like nobody sees it?" That's it. Simple, natural, short. What happens? 2 things. First, you make sure you actually understood them correctly. Misunderstandings can't happen because you're checking in real time. Second, they feel heard. They know you're actually paying attention. This makes them want to keep talking, keep opening up. Even Carl Rogers got things wrong sometimes when he paraphrased. That's okay. The other person corrects you, then you're both on the same page. The key is to do this naturally. Don't sound like a therapist. Don't be robotic. Just casually reflect back what they said in a way that feels like normal conversation. This is where most people mess it up. Tool number 2. Show you're engaged. Here's what kills most conversations, why people can tell when you're not really there. If you just stare at them with no expression, no reaction, they'll assume you don't care. They'll stop sharing. The conversation dies right there. Think about it. Have you ever told someone something important and they just sat there, blank-faced? How did that feel? You probably didn't want to keep talking. You probably felt stupid for even bringing it up. That's what happens when engagement signals are missing. The other person feels exposed, vulnerable, like they're talking to a wall. This is where something called minimal encouragers comes in. It's just a fancy way of saying, show you're paying attention. Nod your head. Say, or yeah at the right moments. Raise your eyebrows when they say something surprising. Lean in slightly when they share something important. These tiny signals tell the other person, I'm here, I'm listening. Keep going. What you're saying matters. Without these signals, even if you're listening perfectly in your head, it doesn't matter. The other person can't see inside your mind. They need external proof that you're engaged. I used to think this was fake or manipulative. It's not. It's just communication. You're showing on the outside what you're feeling on the inside. You're giving them permission to keep being vulnerable with you. Here's another thing that helps. Take your time before responding. Don't jump in the second they finish talking. Pause for a moment. This shows you're actually thinking about what they said, not just waiting for your turn. When you remove engagement signals from a conversation, you remove safety. People only open up when they feel safe. These small actions create that safety. But the next tool? This is where the real shift happens. Tool number 3. Label their emotions. This is the most powerful tool, but it's also the trickiest. After someone talks for a bit, you name the emotion you think they're feeling. You do it with empathy. You keep it simple. Your friend tells you about a rough day at work. You say, "That sounds really frustrating." Your partner talks about an upcoming event. You say, "You seem excited about this." Your coworker mentions a project that went wrong. You say, "I bet that was disappointing." 3 things happen when you do this. First, it builds an emotional connection. They feel like you really get them, not just the facts of their story. Second, it helps them understand themselves better. Sometimes people don't even realize what they're feeling until someone else names it. They're so caught up in the situation they haven't stopped to identify the emotion. Third, they feel better. Being heard emotionally is different from being heard intellectually. It hits deeper. It's the difference between someone understanding your words and someone understanding your heart. Now, you might get the emotion wrong sometimes. That's okay. They'll correct you. Not frustrated, more just tired of it, But even when you're wrong, the fact that you tried to understand their feelings still matters. It shows you care about more than just the surface level. Keep it casual. Don't overdo it. You're not diagnosing them. You're just showing you care about how they feel, not just what they're saying. One more thing. Don't rush to label emotions. Let them talk for a bit first. Build context. Then when you name what they're feeling, it lands with real weight because you've been paying attention the whole time. When I started using these tools, conversations got completely different. People said things to me they'd never said before. Deep stuff, real stuff. They told me secrets. They shared feelings they'd been holding back for years. But here's what surprised me most. The conversations became more interesting. When people feel safe to be honest, they say the most random, authentic things. It's fun. It's genuine. It's not the surface-level small talk most people are stuck in. My relationships got stronger. People trusted me more. They wanted my opinion because they knew I actually listened before giving it. They came to me with problems because they knew I wouldn't just dismiss their feelings or immediately try to fix everything. I became someone people felt comfortable around. Not because I was trying to be likable, but because I made them feel seen. There's something deeply powerful about that. In a world where everyone's talking but nobody's listening, being the person who actually hears people makes you stand out in a way nothing else can. But there's one more thing I learned that ties all of this together. It's the hardest part, but it's also the most important. Here's the secret that makes everything else work. You have to actually care. I know that sounds obvious, but here's what I mean. You can learn all the techniques in the world. You can paraphrase perfectly. You can show engagement. You can label emotions like a professional therapist. But if you don't genuinely want to understand the other person, none of it matters. People can feel the difference between someone using techniques and someone who actually cares. They can sense when you're going through the motions versus when you're really there with them. There's a famous quote, "You can make more friends in 2 months by becoming interested in other people than you can in 2 years by trying to get other people interested in you." That's the real foundation of active listening. It's not a trick. It's not manipulation. It's genuine curiosity about another human being. Here's what helped me. I started looking for what made each person interesting. Everyone has something unique about them. A weird hobby, an unusual perspective, a hidden skill, a crazy story. Most people never share these things because nobody ever asks the right questions or listens long enough to hear them. When I approached conversations with real curiosity, active listening became easy. I wanted to paraphrase because I wanted to make sure I understood. I showed engagement because I was engaged. I labeled emotions because I cared how they felt. This is what Carl Rogers discovered all those years ago. When you approach someone with genuine interest and empathy, when you create a space where they feel safe to be themselves, they open up. They grow, they heal. The techniques I showed you, they're not tricks to fake caring. They're tools to help you express real care more clearly. They're ways to show someone, I see you, I hear you, you matter. And here's the thing nobody tells you. When you start genuinely caring about understanding people, your own life gets better too. You stop being so focused on yourself. You stop needing to prove anything. You realize how fascinating people are when you actually pay attention. You become the kind of person others want to be around. Not the loudest, not the funniest, not the one with all the stories, but the one who makes people feel like they matter. That's real charisma. That's real connection. That's what changes how people treat you. Start with one technique. Use it in your next conversation. Notice what happens, then add another. Practice. Get better? Active listening is a skill. The more you do it, the easier it gets. Eventually, it becomes who you are. And when it does, you'll notice something. People treat you differently. They seek you out. They value your presence. Not because you're the most impressive person in the room, but because you're the person who actually listens. Thanks for watching, and until next time.